Hey, shalom, shalom, all praises, honor, glory goes to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak, Wadash. Double honors to the apostles, Elder Bishop of the Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and blessings to you, fellow brothers, pushing this word in truth and sincerity, Brother Chanak. Coming back with another lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak, Wadash. Shalom, shalom, shalom. All right, and this is going to be I guess you could say a response or responding to these guys, this new madness, with this Israelite camp, Genesis, which is a break off from Sakari, Alazar, which you remember that fiasco with the whole strap on and all that. That weird, just weird. We're not gonna go into that, right? But now, and over the years, I'll say that over the years, these false prophets, including them, I'm lumping all the false prophets, okay, in this lump. Little by little, they start to change the doctrine. They bait you in with somewhat of the correct doctrine. In this case, only Israelites being, all right, delivered. And now that they broke off from, the Sakari and separated themselves. All right, and the scriptures speak about this, right? Separate themselves, being sensual. They separate themselves, and also we believe that they took a bag. Okay. Now all of a sudden, they got a whole slideshow to break down their new position of non-Israelites can receive salvation. Okay, they got a whole slide show. So you could check out the apostles' video. I watched, a good portion of the video, and I wanted to get to do the response the other day, but things happen, so I'm able to do the video now, and basically somewhere around the lines, like the title, I was kind of thinking, eventually the false prophet has to show their true color, something like that, something in that realm, because that's what we're seeing. All of a sudden we're seeing all these heresies. Okay, we're seeing a high level apostasy. All right, people breaking away from the things that they were taught. Okay, and now starting to teach false doctrine and basically cursing out their congregation that does not believe, their position. And they were getting cooked in the comment boards too. People were calling them agents. People were, like, what the hell is going on? Y'all off. So they're gonna lose a lot of people as well. But then they're gonna also, there's gonna be people that are gonna follow them. The zombies, and that's what all these Israelite groups that are, all these false prophets. They have to come to you and show you their true colors eventually. Okay, because prophecy is showing itself, all right, and the prophecy of the false prophet as well has to be manifest, and it's manifest with these proud upstart novices that deems themselves as scholars, and they read the scriptures back and forth so many times, and only now they came to the conclusion. Prior to that, they've been teaching 10 plus years, a decade, that the only Israelites can make it, and went through debated Christians. They were known for the debates, known for the position of only Israelites can make it, and then all of a sudden, 2025, towards the end of the year, their position has changed. And they got a whole fucking slideshow, okay, to break it down to their followers. Okay, a lot of these guys took the bag. Okay, let me go to 2 Timothy 3. I believe that's 13. Right. And we've been telling you, they have to show their head eventually. We're seeing all these Israelite groups start to have a position of Christianity in some form or fashion, whether It's the IUIC saying that there's such thing called hell. Okay, to particular groups saying that Cornelius is a Edomite. All right, to now, all right, Genesis is saying that salvation can be open to non-Israelites that believe on the Messiah. They call him Christ. Okay, because the prophecy of the false prophet also is manifest. Okay, in the end times, and the end shall speak and not lie. Okay, this is 2 Timothy 3:13. But evil men and seducers shall wax worse and worse, deceiving and being deceived. And these guys were never on point. You know, they taught particular things. They really came up under the apostles. Okay, but they didn't go the correct way. They did their own thing. And now you see they got when you look on their page, they got the website. If you're looking for merch, okay, if you know, if you want to donate, they got the Cash App, Genesis, Hebrews, okay, they got the Cash App, okay, they got the live streams, you know, they got the debates, you know, individuals, you know, in the Sakari, they was charging for prayers, charging for Hebrew names, so they've always been in the spirit of deception. They always been in the spirit of filthy lucre. Okay, and now that they have somewhat of a good audience, people have been listening to them for years to get their spiritual take on the current events and understanding that they're an Israelite. Now they switching the shit up, and that's what they do. They bait you in, get you hooked, and then all of a sudden they switching the complete doctrine up. And since they're able to, you know, articulate particular things and go through scriptures, and they know scriptures more than the average person, they're able to, you know, deceive you. This is how the false prophet he banks off of you not knowing. Okay, but you know what? Let's go to John, because, and then we can hit Matthew the 24th chapter. You can't deceive the elect. Okay, and that's the thing, and this is good. This is good that, all right, these two dudes are doing. They're showing their horns. They're showing their true colors. Okay, for all of a sudden, well, the scriptures say what? These dudes are cooked. Is that in what is that in James? Double minded. See if that's how. Yep. Yeah. James 1:8. Okay. It says, a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. These dudes are double-minded. Okay. 1 minute they stand their ground, their position that only Israelites can be saved, and there's countless videos out there of them defending that a position that only Israelites can make it. And their excuse now is they actually didn't really believe that. They were teaching that, but it didn't really sit right with their, you got to watch the video. It didn't really sit right with their spirit. And now all of a sudden they came 2025 November. Today's the 16th, but you know, I think it was like the other day, so maybe the 15th, something like that, 14th, 15th. Now, all of a sudden, they came to the realization that non-Israelites also can receive salvation. And now they're going to break it down to what I want to do, actually. And we kind of go in different places, right? I want to go to their page. I want to see the comments on that page. What is their page? Deacon, priest, Genesis. Yeah, what's it called? Once the deacon, he's known as the deacon. Once he left, he now is known as the priest. Okay, and you see, this is a nigga, man. Look at this. This is a nigga. This is the one that's supposed to lead you to Yahweh Shai, right? A nigga with a cap on, AI picture of a nigga with a cap on, okay, with a smirk, a backwards cap at that, with gold chains on and a hoodie. That's the nigga that's supposed to lead you to, to the Lord, right? Because you had Philip and the Ethiopian eunuch. With the Ethiopian eunuch, he was an Israelite, and he was reading, I believe, in Isaiah, and Philip said, "Understand what thou readest," and he said, "How can I if I don't have a guide?" Essentially. Okay, so you do need a guide to guide you to Yahweh Shai. Okay. We're likened unto shepherds as well, okay, to look over the flock, and this is the nigga that's looking over the flock. Well, he changed it all up now, okay, he changed it all up, and the dude Hassad, he ain't no better, okay, but this look at it. This is supposed to be a leader in Israel. Okay, he's selling children's Bibles. Okay, he got all you got the Cash App. Okay, you got the Godcast, which is podcast. You got the PayPal, support the ministry, and you got individuals that actually support the ministry. He got 15 million views. And see, you have to understand that once you get particular amount of views on YouTube, you get approached. Because you now have an influence over a large audience. Even if it's not, billions or but majority of the people on YouTube are not getting 15 million views over the years. Okay, so if you hit a particular amount and then your videos are monetized, okay, you got 501c3 charter, you're on the paperwork, well, you're gonna be approached, and we believe that these guys been approached. Okay, and everything is about clickbait. Like this here, when this dude from ISUPK, this young Jake, which he didn't know what the hell was going on. He went up to GMS. He went up to the camp. The elders out there in Dallas, right? He said it was a heated debate when it was nothing like that. Okay, so I want to go. Was it a live? Let me see. These dudes are waxing. There is right here. So you gonna have Moabites in the kingdom. And with the new body, if one of the Rothschilds, right at the end, if he repents, he's gonna be right there in the chariot with Yahweh Shai and the rest of it. Or he could be one of the 144,000, right? If he repent, right? So it's a fucking madness. All right. So this had 12,000 views, and these two niggas, man, but it's all necessary. Okay, give me a second. It's all necessary. The Lord is showing you who are the true prophets and who are the false prophets. Right, there you go. One of the first comments. The black woman, which probably listens to these guys. See? And what's happening is the Lord is showing you who really has the truth. The group that everybody hates, Great Millstone, we haven't changed up. We've been teaching the same thing. We've been getting on these camps, and you see why now. Because they are changing up the doctrine. They are leading Jake astray. So the first comment, look, the black woman. What the hell? Yeah, you can tell it's the end. People just changing ish every day. I'm good, see? So the black woman, which probably listens to you guys' videos, because this is more of a PC Israelite. You can have the edged up beard. You can rock the caps. You can have the merch. You can have the fiery debates. Okay, you can have the an image of this world and still be an Israelite, right? But now they're like, whoa, hold on. Whoa, y'all changing up. This gotta be. So the black woman saying this gotta be the end. And that's directly what it is. The scriptures say some, is that Peter's? or Timothy's, some shall depart from the faith. Okay. Yeah, 1 Timothy's 4. Let's go there real quick. So so even a black woman can see apostasy, right? Apostasy. Look at this word apostasy, right? I just want to open a new tab. No, that's not what I wanted. Copy. Meaning. Abandonment of one's religious faith, a political party, or one's principles or cause. See? So at one point they were saying that only Israelites, that they were pretty much teaching the same thing. They were pretty much teaching the same thing that we were teaching. For the most part. They went off on particular things. They had the image. They did particular things that weren't correct. But for the most part, the doctrine, really all these Israelite groups are somewhat the same. We teach 90% the same thing. And then they go off on particular things. Well, they if I'm not mistaken, they still believe the RFID microchip is the mark of the beast. But I'm not sure. I'm not sure anymore. But I knew Sakari did, but they didn't push it. Okay, they know the name is Yahweh and Yahweh Shah, but they don't push it. They say Christ and they say Jesus. Well, that's another red flag. Okay, so the book of Timothy, okay, Timothy is being warned that in the last days, people are going to abandon the things that they were taught. Okay, their religious faith, as it calls, or the truth. Right, apostasy is the act of formally abandoning or renouncing a religion or belief system. In this case, okay, that the Hebrew, and they call us Black Hebrew Israelites again now, which is nothing but a buzzword. Okay, intelligence agency buzzword to differentiate themselves from being part of that community. And this guy Hakah, he basically over the thing with Paul in Idols. He wrote on, I believe, Instagram or one of them social media platforms that he doesn't want to be no longer in the Hebrew Israelite community. Just the same thing that, Alizé did. I don't want to be part of this community no more. It's abandonment. It's apostasy. Okay? They were once taught a particular doctrine, and their excuse is, well, you know what? Actually, I didn't really believe it. All these years that I was debating and my position was only Israelites can make it, and I was going to scriptures and this and that and da. But actually, I when I came in, I felt there was something wrong. Actually, there was something wrong with that. It didn't sit right with my spirit. Now I'm free. Now I'm liberated. Okay, Paul was warning Timothy about this. Okay, in the last days, just like in the Black Woman confirmed it. If you read the second comment, the first comment is his comment. The second comment is Crown's S in Lessons. This woman, what the hell? Yeah, you can tell it's the end. People just changing ish every day. I'm good. Okay, you see that? That's apostasy. People changing. We just read a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. They're changing it up. We're at the end. We're at the end where this nigga, he's bringing in a digital ID. He's bringing in the digital currency. He's pushing the MOTB. Okay. You got wars popping up, rumors of wars. You have the scare of the famine with the government shutdown. You have the troops being put in all these cities. All right. And then you got niggas talk about everybody can be saved now. When I thought we were supposed to be saved from our enemies. Okay, so you see that? And now the Spirit speaketh expressly that in the latter times some shall depart from the faith, giving heed to seducing spirits and doctrines of devils. See? And this is nothing but a seducing spirit and doctrine of devil. Because look, down here, light work 144. And where did you get 144 from? Why all of a sudden individuals putting 144 on their their tag, their tag. Why are they doing that? Where do they get that from? Okay, There's only one group pushing 144,000. This was very edifying, heart sign. So he was edified by this. He feels okay with this. So you're gonna have some people that's gonna give heed to these things. Okay? You're gonna have certain people that's gonna give heed to these seducing devils, seducing spirits and doctrines of the devil. And you're gonna have certain people that's gonna, come to the realization who has the truth. And some of them, they're gonna be, they're gonna, the Lord gonna have mercy on. But a lot of you, the Lord is gonna just leave out there in outer darkness. Because here it is, shit about to go down, and they're pushing a spirit that, anybody can make it. So they're trying to disrupt the faith. All right, and again, once you get a certain level of followers, all right, and you have a certain level of influence, okay, you will be you will get approached, okay, and since they love money, it was a deal that they just couldn't turn down. But they were already the spirit wasn't on them regardless. They came in with ulterior motives. Nothing was really mixed with faith, because the doctrine, their excuse now is actually I didn't even believe that. So what else don't you believe? See, a little leaven leavens the whole lump. You're gonna start to see these groups are starting to unwind. They're starting to become Christian organizations. Hell, okay. God loves everybody. Okay. They'll probably teach against the destruction. You're gonna see. We've been telling you for years. And why y'all always getting on? And why y'all always talking about these leave them brothers alone? Now these niggas is blatantly teaching you heresies. What you niggas got to say now? Huh? What you niggas got to say now? All right. The Lord is showing who is His men. Verse 2. Speaking lies and hypocrisy. This is exactly what this is. Having their conscience seared with a hot iron. Meaning they're zapped. These dudes are cooked. Okay, Genesis Israelites are cooked. These are the two. I'm not sure. Do they have like a camp? Do they go out? Let me see. Let me go back to the page. I'm not sure. Do they? I guess they took like half Sakar. I don't know. Did they take like half of them out? And then, right before all this happened, right here. Try this again. Yeah. Everything's about music videos, fair use, right? Everything's about music videos. I'm trying to get that image. They got the Greco-Roman influence of Spartan hat and Colosseum and shit like that. The fuck is that about? That was in our culture. See, look at that. He got the Vesica Pisces. What's that about? What's that about? See, none of you guys question these guys. See, the Lord is taking these guys down little by little, man. To where now they just throwing away everything that they learned. All right, and now they're coming to you since they got a platform that's built up. They got followers. They got the clout now. Now all of a sudden, now it's time to revise the doctrine and to let you know why they're doing it. When shit's literally about to go down, we're about to go into a place where the truth is not going to be out there no more. So you're not going to be able to be edified and built up and reconfirmed, with your faith of what the MOTB is, what salvation is, the things that you must do, who is the enemy, who is the devil, what's getting ready to happen. These individuals, they're in the spirit of debate, and the scriptures speak about full of debate. So the scriptures are 100%, and we're literally living it out. We're literally living out the end, where the false prophets also would be revealed. Remember, everybody is going to be revealed. There's nothing covered that's not going to be uncovered. Even all these false hypocrisies and lies. There has to be apostasy. There has to be individuals breaking away from the things that they taught and teaching other things. Okay, 2,000 years ago, the apostles were warning the church. Paul was warning the church that these things would happen. Timothy, okay, Jude, James, okay, these things were told because it was happening back then, and now we're able to see what's going on now because we're at the end of the end. Back then it was the end, but this is the end of the end. Okay, let's see. Yeah, we're done there. Let me go to, because I wanted to, when I was speaking about how let's go red letter. I was speaking about how, it's good that these guys are doing it, but you're not going to deceive the elect. Nobody that's part of the elect are going to be taken by this. They could possibly be, shooken up, but ultimately the Lord is going to draw them out. Just like, that black woman, she was like, nah, y'all, I'm good. Y'all changing up. Y'all was talking all this shit for all these years, a decade, talking shit. Standing on business. And now all of a sudden, all the nations can make it. All this shit that's been done to us, all of a sudden it don't matter no more. Okay, but hey, that's the false prophet. He's not preparing you for the battle at hand. He's not preparing you for the spiritual battle. He's not building you up, because we all are going to be tempted individually. And if your faith is not built up, you are going to be a casualty of war. Okay, this is nothing but the hireling. Okay, let's see. Let me just start at the top. John 10:1. Verily, verily, I say unto you, and this is Yahushua speaking, not Christ. We don't push the spirit of Christ. Another buzzword that these guys use. Okay, you can use Yahushua and Yahweh every once in a while, but just make sure you say Christ. Make sure you say Jesus. And then what happens? Yahushua and Yahweh, they get phased out. ISUPK, GOCC, they're not even in the, they're not even at the table. We're not even talking. They're just completely bugged out. But they say that Esau can make it too, if they believe. And that's what Genesis is saying now. What the hell is going on? What the helly? Okay, but we're the bad guys. We're the bad guys because we're telling you the truth. Ain't that some shit? Well, what Paul said, have I therefore become your enemy because I tell you the truth? We're calling these niggas out. The scriptures say, mark them which cause division. We're marking these guys. This is why we do videos on these false teachers. And it's starting to be revealed that they're the false teachers. They're literally just throwing away the doctrine. Blatantly, they had a fucking 3-hour live stream with what was I calling it? Project, where they do the a PowerPoint, a 3-hour live stream PowerPoint on their position, why they believe that other nations can make it too, and what they're not saying and what they are saying, because the shit's bugged out. If you got to do that, you're bugged out. Okay, but you're gonna have certain individuals that are gonna follow it. They're gonna give heed to seducing spirits and doctrines of devils, and we are here as defenders, apologists for the truth. These are not apologists for the truth. Okay, they're false prophets, and all these false prophets, they have to make themselves known, just like Esau. He has to make himself known. It's prophecy that he's the devil, so he's going to do the things that the devil is going to do, and it's going to be obvious and clear. Okay, it's going to be clear to the elect, but stumbling blocks unto the wicked. Okay, all right. Verily, verily, I say unto you, he that entereth not by the door into the sheepfold, but climbeth up some other way, the same is a thief and a robber. And that's these guys. Because you had Hakah that was in Great Millstone, I believe San Diego, with Alizé for a moment. I actually went to school with a dude that was in the camp. He fell out. Okay, he fell out. I'm from San Diego, so I know, I'm privy to a couple of things. All right, but I had a dude that was in Great Millstone. I went to school with him. That was in Great Millstone, San Diego. The Spirit had me leave. I was in the midst of opening a camp way before the nigga Alazar even got on the scene. Open up a camp, okay, in San Diego. But the Spirit had me leave and go to Texas. The Spirit didn't want me to do that. Okay. It says, but he that enter, so these dudes were robbers. They came in some other way. All right, they were kicked out. and they did their own thing, and then all of a sudden they start blowing up. All of a sudden, what's going on with that? You know how hard it is to. You got to be a real demon to you're not in the spirit. You're definitely not in the spirit of edifying, the Lord's elect, his sheep, taking care of his sheep. When you're all about money, you making $20,000-$30,000 a month off of Jake, and then when the money dry up, all right, and nobody fucking with you no more, you say to hell with the so-called Hebrew Israelite community. Ain't this some shit? Okay. He that entereth in by the door is the shepherd of the sheep. Okay. To him the porter openeth, and the sheep hear his voice. See? The porter, who's the porter? That's the prophet. The porter is the one that stands right by the door that leads you to, all right, the shepherd. And he calleth his own sheep by name and leadeth them out. So each one of the elect has been, called individually, has been accounted for by name. Are you brother, you sister, you brother, you sister, you brother, this brother, that brother, this sister? Those are the elect. Just like he told in Ezekiel 9, he said, set a mark on them that sigh and cry for all the abomination that be done in the midst thereof, right? But to the others in my hearing, go through the city and slay. Let not thy eye pity, slay utterly old, young, both maids and little, and women, the old. So there's a separation, but the sheep hear the voice of the shepherd. That's the point. And you have the porter that's there that's going to open the door. So you have the porter, the prophet. They're there to guide you, and they're also likened unto shepherds too. And when the porter, to him the porter openeth, and the sheep hear his voice, and he calleth his own sheep by name, and leadeth them out. And when he putteth forth his own sheep, he go before them, and the sheep follow him, for they know his voice. Okay? As a stranger will they not follow, but will flee from him, for they know not the voice of strangers. Okay? And that's these dudes. This nigga literally holding up a cultic symbol. Why would you associate that? Why would you associate that with the Hebrew Israelites? And then the G is like in a pyramid. These dudes took the bag. I mean, it's clear, it's obvious. And you had dudes back then during the Roman Empire that got paid off too. They're moved by the spirit of Satan. Okay. And they're fulfilling their lot of the false prophet. They did this back in the past, man. These same individuals that came up against Moses in the wilderness, the same individuals that came up against Elijah, when Elijah's, on the run. We could read countless, the same prophets that were with Ahab. Okay, that was giving him them false prophecies. It's these same fucking guys coming back, and they're all about money. They're all about vainglory. They're all about clout. And they're all about fucking confusion. And they're switching it up. What you people got to say now, man? What the fuck you guys... Let's go back to those comments on... I mean, you can watch it. I watch, on the... I can't watch all this shit. This shit is just ridiculous. And these dudes, man, I'm not even here to throw, ad hominem attacks or anything like that. We're attacking the doctrine. Okay? We're attacking the doctrine. And the doctrine is off. And this is the thing. They taught that only Israelites can make it. They taught that. That's important. That's important to understand. They taught for years that Israelites can make it. Now, all of a sudden, they changed it up. Okay, bro, servitude. There's another comment. Yahweh Shai, Yahweh 2701. Bro, servitude still means slavery at the end of the day. Just because they won't have physical chains on doesn't mean they're not slaves. All of our fathers didn't have chains on all day, but yet they were still slaves. Newsflash. The other nations, the heathen nations, are all going into captivity. This is from Tribe of Issachar, 7774. Newsflash. This brother in the spirit. The other nations, the heathen nations, are all going into captivity when Yahushua, he put in parentheses, okay, Christ returns. Isaiah 14:2, and he gives you precepts. All right, he gives you the precept, and then it says, therefore the heathen nations cannot escape their judgment. He in the spirit. Whoever don't trouble. Looking forward to the peer review from SOT, I believe as the Son of Thunder, and Brother Yawal in particular. One of the few opinion counts. I don't know. How you run into Vocab Malone. This is from John Dench Ford. How you run into Vocab Malone to talk to another Israelite. Make that make sense. Another dude. You brothers are definitely on the right path. Think not that I come to bring peace but the sword. Folks go be big mad, but stay the course. Because this dude's completely bugged out. Okay. This economy got the doctrine switching all the way up. See? Who said that? Jay the Light. This economy got the doctrine switching all the way up. Yeah, cause the shit is. See, they don't have a regular job. I don't know. I doubt it. This is their full-time job, is to grift and to deceive their community and get as much money out of them as possible. That's why there's always a new debate. That's why there's always a new controversy. That's why there's always a so-called clickbait video to go viral. There's always new merch. There's always they got the Venmo. So you get the Venmo, you got the Cash App, you got the Zelle, and you got the PayPal. Okay, that's on the forefront of the video. That's the back page of the video. See, look, they can't even explain it. They had to go through. They did a PowerPoint. And then what was this? Now all of a sudden the market of beast. Let's play a little bit of this.
His perspective, but this one had nothing to do with me getting kicked out of Sakari and Priest being departing on his own. It's something that I have, especially in the latter months of me being in the camp, I was struggling to figure out an answer for, and so.
So let's go to a scripture, because when you listen to him, especially the brother Hassad, he's basically saying that he was struggling with pretty much the doctrine. Okay, let's play that back again.
In the camp, I was on his own. It's something that I have, especially in the latter months of me being in the camp, I was struggling to figure out an answer for, and so. I would bring it before the brother, and he just wasn't seeing the way that I'm seeing, and so.
Was these dudes set up? You know, and all of a sudden they start to try to bring in heresies with in Sakari. Hey, I believe actually, you know, all nations can be saved. Here, let me. Here's my position. So what the hell was going on? These dudes agents of confusion, because that whole thing broke up, man. The leader of Sakari, he left, right? And then the second in command, Hakai, and the third in command, they left together. So there's a lot of shit behind the scenes. But now the big head is showing his face. Okay, now the hypocrisies and the apostasy is showing forth what's really going on. Something came in and changed shit up. Was it money came in? Was it a bag? Or what was it? So he was struggling in himself, right? The last couple of months. Now, the scriptures say, right, let every man be fully persuaded in his own mind, right? Romans 14:5. One man esteemeth one day above another, another esteemeth a day alike, every day alike. Let every man be fully persuaded in his own mind. So he was teaching, and he wasn't fully persuaded. okay, in his mind. He was struggling within himself. Okay? Actually, nations, any nation can make it if they believe in Christ. They believe in Christ Jesus. Okay? But he was teaching the opposite of that. So what's going on? What the hell is going on? At the end of the day, these dudes are false prophets. At the end of the day.
It's good that we're no longer a part of that organization. No diss. He said some things. He said that I saw a clip, Gorilla. You can send this one to him. He said that he would he doesn't care about me going to boxing class, that he would power bomb me or something like that.
All right, I don't want to hear that.
All I gotta say is this: that you don't have the
power bottom,
steady hands, or the technology to perform such a feat. And he's gonna know exactly what I'm talking about. But I'm gonna say.
Gilbert the Jesus, what's up, brother?
Well, honestly, man, I'm completely disappointed with you guys, man.
Look at that! Look at that! Look at that! Look at that! Let's bring that back. Look at that.
Well, honestly, man, I'm completely disappointed with you guys, man.
Okay.
Teaching that all the nation can be sitting next to me. So you're saying that Elamite is going to be sitting next to me, eating with me? Along with my father Yahweh, along with the Lord Yahweh Shee.
Okay, brother, can I respond to you with the Bible verse?
I actually have heard of this from Christians that we're going to be studying down with all the nations.
Brother, would you like me to respond? Is that cool? Can I read you the Bible? Let me show you this.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna read you.
See? Now, but why they got the mark of the beast up here? What is that about? They gonna go into that? But the dude came on and he's like, I'm disappointed. So you telling me an Elamite gonna be sitting down with me in the kingdom? These dudes are a joke, and they're gonna go into the scriptures to justify their position when they know that they're teaching wrong. They know that. Okay? They know that the Gentiles are Israelites. They know that. And they've been teaching that for years. So all of a sudden now they just switch it up. Huh? So you have a lot of their congregation are going to leave. And where are they going to go? Okay, the Lord is backing everybody into a corner, showing you who the true prophets are, okay? They don't got it.
Watch this. 2 Samuel, can I share my screen, please?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. How do I? Okay, here we go. Let's share my screen. He said, "You're telling me that you're going to sit next to a Gentile and eat next to him?" This is 2 Samuel chapter 11 and verse.
Hey, look, man. All the nations are going into captivity. Okay, they taught this. They taught this. This is the thing. This is not like this is they just the new guys on the scene and they're just bringing this doctrine. They don't understand the. They taught that the other nations were going into captivity. Okay, let's just get that straight. For years, for over a decade. Now, in this live stream, now they're telling you, no, that's not the case. What happened? What happened? How are they preparing you? How is this edifying? You're confusing the congregation. These individuals that look to you for spiritual guidance. Okay? The false prophets.
Verse 6. And David, a man after God's own heart.
You see how you see that? He just doesn't want to read it. He's emphasizing it to make this individual look stupid.
Sent to Joab, saying, "Send me Uriah the Hittite."
And Uriah the Hittite was an Israelite. Elijah, he was known as the Tishbite. Was he not an Israelite? What does that mean? Well, they were in that land, so you can be considered like the Ethiopian eunuch. He was an Israelite that lived in Ethiopia. When you read Acts, it talks about all the nations, Jews, devout men out of all nations coming into Jerusalem. Why were they doing that? Because 3 times out of the year, the men had to go into Jerusalem or for a particular feast. And you had individuals that were living in the other lands that were speaking the other languages, but knew that they were Israelites coming into that land. So they would be considered, oh yeah, that's an Elamite, or that's a Arabian, or whatever it may be. That's a Cushite, but they're really Israelites. And that's the mystery of the Gentiles. So he knows that Uriah was an Israelite. But he's just going to find this one scripture that's just to dismantle, okay, the doctrine that he's been teaching for over a decade, which is crazy.
And Joab sent Uriah to David. When Uriah was come unto him, David demanded of him how Joab did, and how the people did, and how the war prospered. And David said to Uriah, Go down to thy house and wash thy feet. And Uriah departed out of the king's house. What king? King David. And there followed him a mess of meat from the king. Bro, they ate together. King David ate with Uriah the Hittite. Would you say King David's wrong with eating with Uriah the Hittite?
I mean, like if he was on the king on the David, and they doing like like they working for the King David, it wouldn't be anything bad, like.
Exactly.
Exactly. So let me just read this verse. Sorry, this is the verse in particular, verse 13. And when David had called him, Uriah, he did eat and drink before him and made him drunk. Bro, they was taking shots with Uriah the Hittite.
Real quick, too. After this is done, I'm going to process the presentation and put it in the description.
And it's all bull. Man, it's enough of this bullshit, man. Okay, enough of this bullshit. These false prophets. Okay. Romans 16 and 17. Now I beseech you, brethren, mark them, which we're going to scopeo, put the scope on them, which cause divisions and offenses contrary to the doctrine which ye have learned, and avoid them. See, let me read it again. Now I beseech you, brethren, mark them which cause divisions and offenses contrary to the doctrine which ye have learned, and avoid them. These two are completely gone. Okay, they took the bag just like all these other Israelite groups. They're all taking the bag to make themselves more PC, to make themselves more aligned with Christianity or universalism, Catholicism. Okay, they've been infiltrated. Okay, it's clear the false prophet, according to prophecy, is showing his big fat head. Okay, let me get another scripture. Is that how you? Right. So they're all being controlled. Okay. Ezekiel 14 and 9. And if the prophet be deceived when he has spoken a thing, I, the Lord, have deceived the prophet. First of all, the Lord didn't set up a debate team, okay, to go around and debate people. Okay, he set the prophets up to tell you what's going to happen before it happens, whether you like it, believe it or not. All right. And if a prophet be deceived when he has spoken a thing, I, the Lord, Yahweh, Bashem Yahushua, have deceived that prophet. And I will stretch out my hand upon him and will destroy him from the midst of my people Israel. Okay, because they're Israelites. They believe that they're Israelites. All right, teaching Israelites false doctrine, getting them caught up. Here it is, we at the end of the world. We about to get the fuck up out of here, and now all of a sudden everybody can make it. What? But it's all set up in the spirit. Hey, I'm gonna close it there until next time. Shalom to the elect.